we have a new dinosaur showcase for Jurassic World Evolution 3 about the Patagotitan. At first glance, you might think there's not much to it, but we actually have a lot to talk about. So let's have that first glance and then dive into the details.
Introducing the Patagotitan, one of the largest creatures to ever walk the Earth. This gentle giant boasts an incredibly long lifespan, making it a lasting presence in any park. Though slow to breed, the Patagotitan is a strong favorite among visiting guests, making every new arrival a rare and momentous event. Despite their size, Patagotitans are peaceful by nature, coexisting calmly with other herbivores. Massive, majestic, and built to endure, the Patagotitan is the ultimate titan for parks that think big.
There really is more than meets the eyes, but before we delve into that, I want to announce that this will be a week full of Jurassic World Evolution 3 reveals. With Frontier participating in the GameStar showcase tomorrow and the Xbox at Gamescom showcase on Thursday. Plus, I have another news video coming out later today. So there is a lot going on. If you want to make sure that you don't miss out on anything, subscribe to the channel and I'll keep you up to date on the news. So yeah, if you think this showcase is light on reveals, don't worry, there is way more coming. But like I said at the start, there is still plenty to talk about. Look, I'm always gonna be honest. I was hoping they wouldn't do a dinosaur showcase for the Patagotitan. We already saw quite a bit of this sauropod in a previous feature focus, so I would have preferred a brand new species reveal. But that might be coming sooner than expected. This dinosaur showcase comes only a week after the Psittacosaurus showcase, whereas before there was about 2 weeks between each showcase. We could be looking at an increase in the frequency of these showcases, and that would make sense. I've said in a past video when I noted that the footage had gone from pre-alpha to alpha that we could start to see the marketing ramp up now that the game is in a further developed state and there's more ready for Frontier to show off. Getting this showcase only a week after the previous is a good sign, and while I doubt they'll release one every Tuesday like clockwork, I hope that a weekly showcase is something we can look forward to. There's exactly 9 weeks between now and the launch of the game. If we get a weekly showcase, we'd have a total of 13. That's in line with the species profiles for Jurassic World Evolution 2, of which we got 14 for the base game. What they're doing different from Jurassic World Evolution 2 is the order. By releasing the Patagotitan showcase after the Taco showcase, they are no longer following the pattern of alternating between new and returning species. So whatever is coming next will be a total surprise. Let me know in a comment down below which species you hope to see in the next showcase. I really think it's time to see more of the lagoons, just anything but a Mosasaurus showcase, please. Okay, let's get into the showcase itself. The first thing I noticed is this one particular Patagotitan with a really bright teal skin, and seeing that makes my heart sing. For Jurassic World Evolution 2, I felt like only the Brachiosaurus got really good skins eventually. So seeing this super vivid color on the Patagotitan makes me hopeful that the sauropod skins get some flair. The second thing I noticed is that it appears there are 2 separate animations for the baby and the parent Patagotitan to interact with each other. We see one interaction where the baby runs up to the adult and they give each other a nuzzle that gives me the warm and fuzzies, but there also appears to be an animation of the baby approaching the parent and rearing itself up on its hind legs to get the adult's attention, which we've seen before in a past video, only with the adult standing up. In Jurassic World Evolution 2, animals only have one animation for each type of behavior, so I expected only one social interaction per species between babies and adults in Jurassic World Evolution 3, but this appears to show variation. And there is also slight variation between the baby interaction for the Psittacosaurus that we saw in the showcase and the animation in the behind the scenes article that I covered last week. This one is subtle and isn't a difference in animation, but rather a different way in how the animals line up, where in one instance the baby sniffs the other's foot, and in the other case he sniffs the other's tail. I personally figured this was just a difference between an early version of the animation and the final version, and that may very well be the case. But we see the same with the Patagotitan. The baby does the same standing up animation, but in one the adult is standing and in the other the adult is lying down. So there is slight variation there, not in the animation itself, but in how it comes together between the two animals. In the article, Frontier did say animal behavior is much more complex, so we might be seeing multiple animations per behavior and differences in how those animations line up. Also on the topic of behaviors, this Patagotitan in the back is so extra, as it appears to be doing a broadcast or something, pointing its head all the way up and shaking its neck. And although the narration talks over it, we hear a really impressive bellow that I think is going to be really awesome hearing echo throughout our parks.
Massive, majestic, and built to endure, the Patagotitan is the ultimate titan for parks that think big.
The Patagotitan gives us a good look at a nest and its UI. The single egg in the nest is selected, and we see the highlighted shape of the egg, which appears to be buried in the mound. The taco nest showed the eggs fully exposed, so it's exciting to be seeing differences in the nest based on which species has claimed it. Everything else around the mound itself we can customize using the modular building tools. If we look at the UI of the nest, we can see tabs that will let us meddle with nature, much to Malcolm's chagrin. We know scientists can put their fingers on the scale and influence the genetic traits of the offspring. While they inherit traits from their parents, I'm assuming this means, for example, that we can influence if the baby inherits the colors of the father or of the mother. And that if we don't intervene and let life find a way, the color and other traits will be transferred at random. In the UI, a timer counts down to the hatching of the egg. What I'm curious about is what happens when this time hits 0, because we go from egg to quite a sizable toddler. How is the game going to handle, or perhaps more accurately put, hide that sudden transition? Especially given the fact that with how we can make nests exposed like this, there is no way for them to obscure our line of sight. In the narration, it is mentioned that the Patagotitan has a long lifespan, is slow to breed, and is peaceful by nature, able to cohabitate with other herbivores. And speaking of cohabitation, Stegosaurus and Triceratops are seen cohabitating here. Now, I don't play challenge mode a lot, but I'm pretty sure in Jurassic World Evolution 2, Stegosaurids and Ceratopsians can't cohabitate outside of Sandbox. They dislike each other. But maybe someone can correct me on that in the comments. Of course, we don't really want to hear about what a peaceful giant Patagotitan is. One of the main questions we want answered is whether sauropods will fight back, and I can't deny it is a huge missed opportunity that this showcase doesn't reveal that behavior. On one hand, that makes me worried about whether Frontier finally implemented this much wanted and much needed defensive behavior for these titans. But on the other hand, Frontier, through the reveals for this game, have made it so clear that they've taken community requests to heart that I find it hard to believe sauropods fighting back is something they didn't implement. Because I'm sure they've seen comments about it even more often than I have. Unfortunately, whether it's in the game or not, they are making us wait for confirmation. Perhaps this is something that will be hinted at some point later this week or even later today. As I said, there is a lot coming. We didn't get early access for anything this week other than this one showcase, so at the time of making this video I have no inside information, but as soon as there are new reveals, I will bring you the news. My last point for this video is about how the inclusion of Patagotitan could affect the rest of the base game roster. I really think Alamosaurus might have been cut in favor of this new titan. It also solidifies my personal suspicion that Rebirth content will be a DLC, given how similar Patagotitan is to Rebirth's Titanosaurus. Thank you so much for watching, liking, subscribing, and until next time, stay tuned for more very soon.